everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jackie, for those of you who don't know me, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my experience at Sacramento State, especially my research experience. So I'm going to talk about my research, conferences I went to, poster presentations I gave, research programs and grants that I got, and lastly I'm going to talk about clubs that I was involved in. I first got involved in research because the first semester that I went to Sacramento State, I got in touch with my major advisor, and when I was talking to her, I told her that I was interested in research, and she actually set me up with another professor, and we met through emails, and I asked him if I could have an interview so that I could be a part of his lab, and he agreed. And so I got an interview with this professor, I'm just going to call him my PI, and he accepted me into his research lab, and my PI is the one who got me to apply to certain programs that I ended up getting accepted to that paid me to do research, but that's for the next section. As far as research poster presentations go, my second semester at Sac State, I did 2 research poster presentations for the school symposiums that they have. One of them was a STEM symposium, and then the other one was an overall symposium for all the different majors, and those were my first poster presentations that I ever did. In October 2019, so the end of my 3rd semester at Sacramento State, I got the opportunity to attend the SACNAS conference in Hawaii. And this was so exciting. Like, I got to go to Hawaii for free. It was an incredible experience. So for those of you who don't know what SACNAS is, SACNAS stands for Society for Advancement of Chicanos, Hispanics, and Native Americans in Science. This organization is a huge organization that almost everybody knows about in the science community. They advocate for minority representation in science, and they do these yearly conferences, the SACNAS conference, in different locations every single year. At this conference, they talk about minority inclusion, and they give different workshops that you can attend with a whole bunch of different topics. They also do poster presentations. I went to a couple of poster presentations, especially since I didn't present a poster, but I had a couple of friends who did present a poster, so I went and I checked those out. They also had a place where recruiters from different colleges and PhD programs and med schools were at, so that the other students who attended the conference could go and scope out the different universities. So this conference was about 3 days long, and like I said, it was in Hawaii, and the program that I'm a part of, which was the RISE program at the time, the RISE and LSAM program work together, and I will talk about these programs in the next section, so just hold on for a minute. These programs work together, and they pay for each of the students who are in those 2 programs to go to Hawaii to attend the SACNAS conference. So it was overall amazing. Great experience. I'll put some pictures here. This is a picture from my hotel room. So beautiful. The beach. This is the sunset. It was so beautiful. This is a picture coming into the hotel. Someone had their cat in a freaking... This was so adorable. This is the group that I was with. We went on Halloween, so we were all dressed up. We also went to an aquarium, so I got these really cute pictures. Oh, I love this picture right here. A cute little flower. And this was like a parrot. This was so cool. Again, this sunset, you cannot make this up. This was so beautiful. Here's the group again at the SACNAS conference. This was my friend Michelle, who I roomed with. And then here I am at the conference. Then the next conference I went to is called the CSUPERB Conference. And for those of you who don't know what CSUPERB is, CSUPERB stands for California State University Program for Education and Research in Biotechnology. So in order to attend this conference, you have to apply, and your poster has to be accepted. And if your poster is accepted, then they actually pay for your hotel room during your time at the conference. So this was really cool. My poster had gotten accepted, so I was able to go, and they paid for my hotel room, and then other funds like gas and food, my other program that I'm a part of paid for. So all in all, the entire conference was free for me, which was amazing. And I believe this CSUPERB conference that I went to in January of 2020, that one was in Santa Monica, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it was somewhere that I had to drive to. And this conference is also really cool because they also had different talks of people talking about their research that they did, from graduate students to professors. And then I presented at this conference. It was only one day that I presented. And then the other time they had workshops again. A lot of these conferences usually have a type of workshops. So So they had workshops that I was able to attend, and it was very informative. So then during my last semester, I was supposed to present a research poster again at the symposiums that my school has, but because of COVID, that got canceled, and so I didn't end up doing that. Before COVID happened, in the beginning of the semester, I did have to give a 10-minute oral presentation at a symposium, and that was, oh my gosh, terrifying, honestly. Giving an oral presentation on your research was honestly so hard for me to do, especially because you're talking to other professors and they're asking you questions about your research, expecting you to know every single answer, which obviously, yeah, it is just very terrifying. I was very scared and nervous doing it, but after I did it, I was glad it was done and over with. And it was a great experience. And then lastly, at the end of the semester, I gave a 20-minute oral presentation on my research, and this was actually for my senior thesis research class, and because of COVID, this was over Zoom. So it was interesting learning how to work with Zoom and a PowerPoint presentation over Zoom. So now on to the second thing, which is research programs I was in and the grant that I got during my time at Sac State. So like I said, I got involved in research my first semester at Sac State, and at the end of that semester is when I applied to the LSAM program. And the LSAM program is the Louis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation program. So then starting my second semester, I started in that program. They pay you up to 80 hours a semester, and on top of that, they also give you a stipend for research supplies. So I was extremely happy to be accepted into this program because one, I'm getting paid, and two, it allowed me to actually do research without worrying about getting another job somewhere else that could have been off campus. It was like the best of both worlds. I was able to do the research that was gonna look good on my resume, and I was getting paid for it, so I didn't have to stretch myself too thin and work another job. And for the LSAM program, they also pay you to do summer research. But I had applied to a different grant, which is called the SURE grant, and it stands for Summer Undergraduate Research Experience. And I got accepted into that. And they pay you also to do your research for 10 weeks, up to 40 hours a week. So I was able to make a lot of money over that summer to continue doing my research. And this amount was more than the LSAM program gives you over the summer, so that's why I went with the SURE grant for over the summer. Then at the end of summer is when I got notified from one of my advisors of the LSAM program. They had an opening for the RISE program, and RISE stands for Research Initiative for Scientific Enhancement. This program is linked with the LSAM program, but they're different programs, so it's a little confusing, but they're different. And the way that they're different is RISE is a couple of things, but money-wise, the RISE program actually pays you 15 hours a week for the entire semester compared to the max hours of 80 hours a semester. So it was better. And then plus, they also pay you full-time for over winter breaks and summer breaks. So then like over winter break, I stayed and I did research, and I was able to work 40 hours a week for 4 weeks, or however long winter break was. So I did that. Another great thing about these two programs is that they actually prepare you to go to a PhD program. They give you all the necessary materials that you need to succeed on the GRE, and they help you apply to different colleges. They also give you extra advising to make sure you have the support that you need. So these two programs were amazing, and I was so grateful to be a part of them during my time at Sac State. So for the RISE program, I was a part of that my entire second year at Sacramento State. Now on to the third topic, which is different clubs I was involved in and sports. So I was involved in the chemistry club, the women in STEM club, the SACNAS club, and on top of that, I also did intramural sports at the university, and I did volleyball. So all of these clubs were so great to be a part of. The chemistry club was really cool because we did a lot of tours of different labs and just different job opportunities that we were able to do. That was really cool. And then on top of that, we were also able to have get-togethers with the club that was paid for by the club. So one time we went bowling, another time we went to an escape room, so things like that. So that club was really nice to be a part of because I was able to make friends with other chemistry majors, and then plus I was able to have fun with them as well. The Women in STEM club I was a part of was also amazing. I loved being a part of that club. I was able to meet other women who were also in STEM, and I was able to connect with them and build good relationships with them, and that was awesome. The Sackness Club is part of the Sackness organization that I talked about earlier. A lot of campuses have their own Sackness Club at their university, and so I was a part of this, and this club was also really cool because they would have different panels of other professors come and talk to us, and they always had something new happening each meeting, so it was always very informative and or fun to go to. Another program I forgot to say I was a part of was the C program, and C stands for Science Educational Equity. Being a part of this program was very helpful because they had a separate space that you could go to and study, and that you had to have a key to get into, so not anyone could just go in and study. And then they also offered you different resources, whatever you needed help in. And then lastly, I did intramural volleyball for Sac State, which was a lot of fun. I basically had my own team, my own volleyball team, and we played, and my team almost won every season. We were so close, but there's this one team who always beat us because they were just phenomenal. It was co-ed, so it was a mixture of women and men, and in my opinion that made it even more fun because playing against guys was just, it was very intense, and it made it a lot of fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, women can be really intense too, but since not everyone here are professionals, the women's team seemed to be not as intensive as the men's, so it was just a lot of fun. I think the season only lasts for 4 weeks, so then on the other times when I wasn't doing that, they had open court twice a week, and I usually went to that. It was like Tuesdays and Thursdays from like 6 to 10. I wouldn't stay the whole time, but I would at least go for a couple hours. And I really started going a lot my second year. So my first year I went like every so often, but then my second year I kind of made it a point to go because it was just so much fun to do, and I love playing volleyball, so that's what I did. So that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful for you, and go ahead and leave a comment if you have any other questions about research opportunities or anything like that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. Until next time, bye! In the organize. I'm almost done.